Hello, my dear dark ones. Welcome to my channel. This is a personal YouTube reading, order number 1495 for Amie. So the first thing I want to tell you, Amie, it's how much I fascinated with your right palm. Probably, if you watched my readings, you probably know that the right palm represents destiny and the left palm represents free will. So, your left palm is totally normal, like totally human, but your right palm, that's something that's something crazy. So I've been reading palms since I was 12. I've seen a lot of different weird, unusual, crazy palms. Yours would be on my wall of honor, I would say, or the star alley for palms if I would have it, like yours would be there. Because not only it's the most unusual shape, and it's just the most unusual marks I've seen in my entire life. And interestingly enough, you might be just one of my clients who only asked about what the future holds for you. And I'm so fascinated why unusual beings like you, I can't even call you human because you're not really human, and why you don't even ask who you are, and this is like I always curious. The more interesting people are, the more gifted they are, the more unusual they are, the less they usually ask about themselves. So like you are the most fascinating creature I've ever had the pleasure to do reading for. So before I'm gonna go crazy over your palm, I wanna tell you something interesting. So the very first thing I can tell that the first thing that gives out that you not of human origin, and I'm not talking about this reincarnation, I'm talking about your soul, because the first thing I do when I have people to read for, I usually go to the underworld and I look for them. So in the underworld, like people, humans, they look very different from other entities or creatures or demons or angels or like we all different. But when I was looking for you, you don't look like a human there. So that was my first concern because I couldn't find you. And the problem wasn't your name, because sometimes like you're not supposed to use the names that we are given. Your name is fine. You don't really have to like change it or worry about your name. It's really, really suits you. It's just that the first thing that I saw that you don't stand there as a human. You were standing there as a shadow that usually I call like these ancient gods. So you're like identical to them. Another thing, you're standing there with like a crown. It's not like actually a crown from 18th century, for example. This is like a headpiece that I would easily describe. Actually, I have this something similar. So this is the Artemis. She was the goddess in the in ancient Greece, in ancient Sumeria, in many ancient civilizations, like all over Turkey, for example. She was one of the goddess who were seen as the one who created the world and humans. So like headpiece like this, you have it there in the underworld, something similar, a little bit smaller, but like very, very similar to that. So that's when my confusion started. So then I had to go back to your palm and look at your palms, and all the answers are there. So the first thing, your right palm doesn't look like your left palm at all. So if you even like notice it, it's totally different palms whatsoever. It means that you found a way to fit in into this world, like to look or behave like a normal human. I think you hiding a lot of your true nature, like you hiding your true self. I don't think a lot of people know what's going on in your mind, and sometimes you're scared to admit what's going on because your mind like living two different lives. You are extremely separated from your reality in your mind. You have crazy wild imagination, crazy dreams. You think about the most unusual things. You're into things that no one else would be into. You are just the craziest human out there. You're a leader. People would love to follow you anywhere you go. They know that you would be the most crazy one, the most unusual one, the most strong one. No one scared to go somewhere with you. It's like they always know that you're the protector and you're the guardian of the tribe, I would say. You do have people who follow you almost like religiously. It's like friends or family that can't live without you because you have this crazy energy that no one can explain and no one can, like, avoid in a way. So the moment people meet you, they like right away they want to be your friends. And even though you're trying to fit in and you live in the life, that's not the life that normal people lead for sure. You are crazy, unusual, crazy, enigmatic, mysterious, sometimes all over the place, but you're still in control and in charge of everything. And I'm still gonna go with your right palm because it's the most unusual stuff. So, your question, what the future holds for you. This is the part on the palm that's supposed to represent your future. This is the only part on your palm that is blanked. It's blank, and it means that you really don't need to know your future, because the moment you know something, you kind of change it. And the future is something that can affect your life tremendously. The moment you know something, it's just like you make sure that it doesn't happen. So the future is not given to you, and that's why you don't see like you don't see the future yourself. You don't have an ability to be a seer, even though you're born with like crazy gifts and abilities. This is not something that you excel at. You really cannot see or predict. You sense things that are already happening, but for you it's very hard to foresee the future. And this is, again, it's very interesting to me because, like, to me it doesn't make sense. You have two guardian demons. In your past lives, you've been in love with these demons and they still guardian you to this day. That's why in this lifetime, when it comes to love, by destiny, you're supposed to be just with one person. And this person's supposed to be a demon, like a demon incarnate or with demonic blood, or someone like a Nephilim. And the reason why is because you yourself, your soul is not of human origin. You're not from Earth. You're not even from any planet or constellation that I heard of. So I can't really place you anywhere. The line that represents your physical body, it's very unusual. It's like you were born, and then for 2 years, you were like a normal child, and then you had this like cut in your line that shows me that until you reach your maybe like 12, 14 years old, your life was, it's like invisible to others. And I cannot even explain it because I've never seen anything like this. It's not supposed to be happening on a human palm. So I would say that you were either, if I would be more, I don't know, crazy, I would say that you've been abducted by aliens, and then someone, like, it's like your body were soulless. Your soul were taken by aliens, and then you were put back in your body. And maybe it was like this. Honestly, with you, like, you never know. And then your body start kind of going through these phases of interesting, unusual sicknesses. Like the first years of your teenagehood, it was fine, but then maybe by the age of 18, 19, something started happening to your physical body that led you to sometimes like playing with changing diets or workout routines, or experiencing something new, or maybe going with some kind of like ceremonies, like different new things to see what's going on with your body, like a lot of experimentations, a lot of trying things. And this is the most unusual part, because this alien side of you, the soul that doesn't belong to Earth, it's like nothing on Earth makes sense to you. All of this like normal things that make up routine for people, they don't make sense. Like grocery shopping, cleaning apartment, going to work, studying, nothing makes sense. You might be amazing at anything you put your mind on, but if you dislike something, you will never do it. It's like no one can force you to do anything you don't want. And even like normal relationship, like you're probably so different with your friends that any other normal person. The way you react to anything, the way you talk to people, the way you behave, the way you present yourself to the world is completely different. You are the most unusual creature out there, honestly. You would be amazing at some kind of like art or design, like you would be like amazing designer if you would choose to design clothes or create some art. That would be the most craziest art out there for sure. When it comes to career line, it goes backwards. So in your childhood, I don't think that you ever wanted to be anyone specific, but I think later in life, that's when you decide who you want to be. And that's where later in life I see this mark, which is the mark of the witch. So I think you might turn into spirituality like seriously, and it's kind of gonna take over your life. You're actually not meant to work for anyone. You're not meant to be like a wife, or you're not meant to be a normal relationship. You're not meant to be nothing, honestly. There's so many things that are given to you. You are given the freedom of being whoever you want to be. And the future is not important because the day that you're living, like right now, it's the most important to you. You are guided by so many interesting entities that I can't even call spirits. It's literally you are, if you are into like aliens or research about paranormal activities, it's because this is who you are. You are of alien origin, and I can't stress it enough because I've never met anyone like you. And this is something that you should be more aware of. So whenever you see something unusual, supernatural, like movements in your house, or like voices, or some kind of like poltergeists, that's not of it's not spirits, it's not people who passed away. Those are like alien presences around you because they know who you are. Also, I see that, you know, you have such an unusual mind. Like, I can't even explain it, but whatever is happening in your mind, sometimes it's more real than whatever is happening in your normal life. And it's not only your destiny, but it's only your free will. Your left palm as well is like the same. And I see that your energy is always changing. As a person, as a human being, you're always changing. Sometimes you are feeling good, sometimes you're feeling bad, and it's all about your own inner life, whatever it is happening in your life. This is your left palm. It shows me the life that you live now, and it is more normal than it's supposed to be. You actually added yourself like more normal lines. It's like you start thinking about your career path in school. You start thinking about your body more, even though you're trying to live normal life and you're trying to think about normal things. It's still not normal when it comes to you. And I see that you have the most unusual marks of ancient tribes on your palms, like the tribes of Northern Africa, the tribes from Syria, and the tribes from whatever they now in the Bible they call the heaven. So all of this land of the heavens, you have the marks from every tribe that ever lived there. These guardian demons are stronger than ever, so you have like heavy demonic presence in your life. You have crazy connection with the gods pantheon of ancient Greece. I think you've met all of them in your reincarnations. By the way, you had crazy reincarnations all the time. Something were happening. You never had a reincarnation as a normal person. So if in this lifetime you're trying to be normal just because you never had a reincarnation like that before, so it's kind of also for your soul, it's a learning experience. You had reincarnation in ancient Egypt when you talked to many deities there. You didn't work as a high priestess or anything like that. You just were able to talk to the gods, and I think probably because you were reincarnated as a pharaoh for sure. Because who else would be able to talk to gods back then? You are connected with ancient times so much that you don't feel connected to your lifetime now. Sometimes you feel like you're watching yourself like a movie. You are the leader character in your own movie, and it's kind of fascinates you and makes you laugh sometimes, but it's something because you are not really human per se. You have this interesting mark of protection, and mark of Lucifer. So you are connected to the higher realm of demons. They kind of marked you. You might become like the most amazing dark witch out there if you ever wanted. It's just your power is crazy. It's so unusual. I really would love to sense your hand in person. When I have palms, like when I hold palms like this, there's so many visions that come, and I hope one day I will be able to, for sure, because this is like crazy amazing power for me. I think I'm overwhelmed a little bit. So when for your future in this lifetime, I see there is three marks that are given to you. First one is success. The second one is wealth and protection. So you're protected, wealthy, and successful. And it doesn't matter what you do because those marks are not connected to anything. So that's what future holds for you in your palms. But of course, I'm gonna ask the tarot for more details because it's why not? Because it's interesting. And you have the demonic ladder, the ladder of protection from demons, so you can work with demons if you want to. You have the connection with Sirius constellation. So I think astrology is something that you might be into if you really want to. But for you, if ever you wanted to do a natal chart, it should be done with astrology of like ancient Egypt or something like that, not like contemporary Western astrology. I want to talk to you about your presence in the underworld. There, like I said, you stand with this like headpiece, like a goddess, and usually people are quiet in the underworld. You don't really talk much there. You are the one who actually makes noise. You sing in the underworld. You actually sing, and it's like a chant, like ancient, the most beautiful, powerful chant, and it's spreading all over the place. It's like first I heard you and then I walked up to you. You are worshipped in the underworld and you are worshipped by humans. So it tells me that your other incarnation is a god on earth. So you've been worshipped for sure. And that's why in this lifetime you're supposed to do something that people will see and they actually again like worship you like a celebrity. This is something very natural to your soul, to being seen as a goddess, and it's unusual. It really is unusual. I know a lot of my clients are unusual. There's so many interesting, fascinating, gifted people. You are something special. I hope you know and I hope you realize how special you are. If ever you have any more questions about yourself, I would really recommend you to do a past life reading, especially if you can do it in person. Go to like a regression session, past life regression, to anyone who can actually hypnotize you, because it's going to help you to unlock the power of the soul that is like still dormant and sleeping, because being a human sometimes limit us to like very heavily, like a lot of limits being a human, because growing up you always face the society, and sometimes they tell you that some things are like not good, taboo, so you try to not to come into your power subconsciously because of all of these limitations. So if hypnosis is actually working on you, this is the only thing that can help you to actually unlock your abilities for sure, to unlock your memories, past life memories, which are amazing. I think you should remember more about who you are, and try to find someone who is more into all of this like alien demonic stuff, like someone who is powerful enough to even go into this route during the session, not someone who is just like looking for normal past life regressions. Okay, I'm still gonna ask tarot about your future, whatever comes. When it comes to working with spirit guides, your ancestors are not supposed to be your spirit guides, because this is the family that your soul chose for specific experiences. You're not really connected to the bloodline because your bloodline is different. If you have good relationship with your family, that's because you made it like that, because you're not, by destiny, you're not supposed to be in good relationship with your family. So if it happened, it's just because your soul was good enough to accept them as the family. Your soul is highly advanced. You have three higher selves, three different entities as a higher self, and that's why sometimes you live like three different people. Like you have different emotions, different lives, different, your points of view might be changing a lot. Your ideas on the world might be changing a lot because you are like three different entities in one body, and that's explains sometimes your craziness, your unusualness, I would say, because usually people have only one higher self, and I've seen two higher self. Three is extremely unique. Okay, let's ask about your future. So interesting, it's like the card showing me that you're not supposed to know your future, otherwise you're gonna regret it. And okay, thank you so much, cards. We still want to know the future. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase the question. I'm just gonna ask the cards what's coming to you in the nearest future. If there's something that you should be aware of, something that might help you to avoid some kind of negativity, or just to grow you as a person, or just like something that you might benefit from knowing at the moment. So the first thing, they're showing me that you're kind of going through the cycle that has ended, and you close the chapter and you're ready to move on. They're also showing me that you're not aware of your magic, you're not aware of your abilities, you don't practice, which is not good because this is the major arcana card, the magician card, like the most interesting card to have during the reading. So you need to maybe take a cult more seriously, especially if you want to be able to like change your future in the like in the future, if you want to have the ability to impact the future, to kind of like manifest the things that you truly want, the things that otherwise won't be happening, like use your magic, use your abilities. This is interesting card. It usually represents something new. So in the future you will be buying a huge house, almost like a castle. That's what's your ambitions maybe at the moment, and that's where you're working on. You're supposed to have this like crazy cool castle in the future. 9, 1, and 10 telling me that it should be done very soon. And if this is in your mind, when you see the opportunity, go for it, because it's meant to be for you. Again, you're not supposed to be working for anyone. There are no material troubles ahead, and no, I would say, nothing new. It's like your life in a way is settled already, it's decided. Your life is, I feel like the cards are giving me this idea that in your mind you have everything that you want, in your mind you have everything that you need, and even though you don't feel the same, it's just subconsciously you're so attached to what you have, and because of that you don't want to maybe move on and desire different things or ask for different things. It's like your life is kind of perfect, especially by others. Like a lot of people jealous of you, they're jealous of the things that you got, and you don't want to lose it. And because of this mindset, you're not losing anything. Your future is stable. That's what I feel. In the future, you might be in this situation when you are feeling sorrow for something, for some situation that you mishandled. I would say when I see this card in the future position, I would always talk about doing the right choices and making the right decisions and making sure that you are not overreacting when something comes. So you might receive an offer from someone, something that you've been expecting, but it's not going to be delivered to you the way you think. So make sure that you still think about this. You still maybe accept the offer even though it's not something that you wanted or you liked, because this offer might impact your future heavily. This is something to do with like money or something physical. This card shows me that sometimes when it comes to you're supposed to be wealthy, you're supposed to be prosperous. This is something that's marked on your palms. So sometimes if you don't feel this prosperity or wealth around you, it's just because you don't really see what's given to you, and you don't really understand how to make the most of the things that you're given. So in the future, nothing bad is going to happen to you. You are still protected. You're still prosperous in different ways. I see that there is some kind of project on your mind. It might fail. It might fail because you are not approaching it from the right direction. So if this is something very serious, if this is something that connects to your family as well, you are not supposed to be listening to anyone. You're supposed to make decision yourself. Even though there are other people involved, this is your own decision. And if you listen to someone else, that's gonna fail. You're supposed to do it yourself. Don't take help when it comes to this project. I'm not really trying last time because the cards don't really want to show me anything from your future. Okay, now they want to show me that, honestly. So this is the card that actually in tarot represents Lucifer. So they want to show me that in the future you need to work with Lucifer, you need to connect with Lucifer. Aquarius, it's also represented by Aquarius. So usually this represents by going into the world, showing what you got, showing who you are. If you want to achieve more success and like strengths and the status that you want, it's only by going into the world. Usually I would see it like having an account, like social media account, that is supposed to have like more than 2 million subscribers there. So going into the world through social media, like literally that's what this card represents. The strengths card, when it comes again next to your castle in the future, you should concentrate on your body this year, and in the next 8 months you need to take your health to the next level. It is important for your future. That's what the cards are showing me. And the Empress card here, the Queen of Cups or the Empress, this shows me that this is how you should be perceived, worshipped. You're beautiful. People love to spend time with you. You are amazing, and it's not changing. It's like more people gonna come to your life, more people gonna worship you, and that's your future. Like literally, the cards are so close to you. It's like they don't want to show me anything. I'm so fascinated by your palms, and also I'm so fascinated by tarot that are silent. I think tarot is definitely not your tool, because in the palms I saw that you're not supposed to predict the future, and that's why the tarot is silent. They don't want to show you anything. Crazy unusual, and I feel maybe you should never ask about your future anymore and ask different questions. Okay, now let's move on to the candle wax. Okay, for candle wax, I'm not going to be asking anything about the future. I'm just going to ask about just open message, whatever comes. And let's see what the candle wax is going to show us. They're showing me some kind of toy that might be from your childhood. Usually when they show toys, it means that when you had it, a spirit was standing next to a toy. It's like haunted toy in a good way. So the toy was your friend, and the spirit was your first messenger, I would say, mediator between you and the realm of non-living. They're showing me that you had reincarnation in Atlantis. You used to be able to communicate with dolphins, and you used to know how to swim really good and hold your breath for hours in the water. Birds now represent some kind of signs for you, like guidance. And when you see unusual birds, you always notice something about birds. Those are the animals, like the totem animals of your soul. The bigger the bird, the better, the more accurate the sign is for you. I think it has to do with you having wings at some point in one of your incarnations. So you kind of like you have the ability to fly, and maybe in your dreams, especially when you were a kid, maybe you had like a lot of dreams where you were flying. You have these dark moments about you when when you are when you're capable of things that are scary, but you never act on them. You have like an unusual gift of seeing, that sometimes you see people for who they truly are. It's like when you talk to someone, especially strangers, you get this like visions when you see something that they could have done, and it's so unusual. I can't even describe it. I don't even think you can describe it to yourself or others. It's just some kind of like this feelings, premonitions, something that like makes your it makes you have like goosebumps just by talking to strangers. You're very sensitive to touch, like you don't like when people too close to you, especially if you don't trust them. Like in public areas, you try to avoid any types of physical interaction with humans. But if you're super happy and in a good mood, you're fine with this. But when you feel like bad or sick or tired, like you just like pick up too much energies. You don't really like it can make you angry when people like too close to you. You always felt like someone was watching you or something. A lot of people think that you're like an open book, that they can read you easily, but they don't know that they never can get past the cover. There's something about you and the fire element, and fire really gives you some kind of unusual pleasure. When you watch fire, you might be even sense something like shamans. You can see some kind of images in the fire. you have four souls that are next to you, that are so connected to you, that means so much, like the whole world to you. Your whole world is all about these four people in your life, and everything else is for them. Sometimes you're too quiet and it scares people. They like when you talk, or when you have fun or something. When you're too quiet, it's just the quietness about you is very unusual. It's such a scary quietness that people don't understand. When you're in a good mood, you can even heal people. It's like your energy is so strong that you are just by being who you are, like people can just sit next to you, talk to you for 5 minutes, and they feel better right away. Like you know how to empower people, because deep inside you have an amazing love for humans, because you don't understand them and yet you love them. Because for this all this reincarnation on earth, maybe in the beginning you felt like you trapped, but now you kind of have compassion for them, compassion for humans that you meet. You're actually this interesting person that you are logical in the most strange way. So for example, if sometimes you would see a homeless person, but this person doesn't give you a good vibe, you will never like give them anything. But then you can give like maybe $100 for someone who just gives you a good vibe, and you know they deserve it. And that's unexplainable why you do this. There is no like logic behind this, but this is something that you do, and this is something who you are. Also, I want to mention that water have the most unusual effect on you. When you're next to the water, you feel different. You feel some things are just life around you. Water is the source of your life, your power, and the connection that you have with water is just remarkable. So surround yourself with water more, and drink more water, and also work with water. It's like, for example, the easiest way for you to predict the future, it could be fires crying, but also water's crying. Honestly, Amy, you are so incredible, so unusual. You fascinate me. Honestly, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to see your incredible palms. And I hope eventually you will start asking different questions, as for example, who you truly are, where does your soul come from, how can you connect with your soul more, how can you know these three higher selves, what kind of past lives you had, if you want to work with demons, if you want to unlock your magic. There's so many interesting things that you can learn about yourself, and I hope you dedicate the rest of your life to learning about who you truly are, because this is the most fascinating question I think you can ever ask. And good luck with everything. Your future is supposed to be incredible. You shouldn't be worrying about your future. It's one of the best futures. Like, I get the best feeling from what's the things that's coming for you. So just be open to receive, and your future is a miracle. Like, the things that are given to you are just amazing. And enjoy your life, honestly. Maybe this is the first time that you're reincarnated on this planet with this life that you have. So enjoy it. And thank you again.